Moi everyone and welcome to Finnish Your Plate. Potatoes are of course a staple in Finnish cooking, and through the summer new potatoes are the delicacy of Finland. They can be enjoyed in many different ways. Usually they're boiled or maybe just had with some fish or maybe some simple meat dish. But you could also make salad with them. I have here a fresh potato salad that has new potatoes. Instead of using mayo as a dressing, I'm using yogurt, so it's also a little bit lighter in calories, and it's going to be very nice and light for a hot summer day. So join me and I'll show you how to make this potato salad Finnish style. I have here some new potatoes I picked up from the farmer's market. They have a very thin skin, and if you're making a potato salad like this, definitely use new potatoes if you can find them. New potatoes are basically potatoes that are grown this season. Many times what happens is potatoes are kept over the season through the year in storage, and those are last season's potatoes. They last very long time when you keep them like that, but they develop a very thick skin, and in my opinion the flavor is not quite the same as with new potatoes. So in a dish like this that relies heavily on the potato flavor, you definitely want to use new potatoes such as this. So just look through them, make sure there's no visible blemishes, dirt, anything like that. I'll just cut this part off, and I'm gonna cut these maybe half, might be just a little bit too large. Maybe I'll cut them in 2-3 parts, larger ones definitely. Gonna cut them a little bit more. So first I'm gonna add a little salt to my boiling water over here, and now I'm gonna put the potatoes in here. And we're just gonna cook them until they're about fork tender. In Finland, new potatoes usually start appearing to the markets around midsummer, and they're available through the whole season, and they are very much the favorite of Finns through the summer. So this potato has a little bit of green on it. I guess it's been exposed to sun a little bit too much, so I'm just gonna shave off the green parts. It is technically poisonous, but the amount of solanine, I think that's the name of the compound, that's in there, it's so little that it really doesn't make any difference if you actually end up eating it. I believe it's the same thing like with rhubarb. My mom always used to tell me, oh, you gotta have milk with the rhubarb, otherwise it will eat the calcium out of your bones or whatever. Alright, so let's top this off with some hot water, and we'll let these cook. And while my potatoes are cooking here, let's make the dressing for the potato salad. I have here some fire yogurt. I'm going to use that. As I always say, this is a substitute for Finnish quark. I'm going to make this recipe a little lighter. That's why I'm using yogurt instead of mayo. You could definitely substitute mayo here instead of using yogurt, but if you do use mayo, be a little bit careful with salt and other seasoning, because mayo might have already salt in it. So taste as you go. I also have here something else I picked up from a farmer's market. This is a red onion that is also fresh out of the ground, this season's onion, and you can tell because it still has the stem left on. This is a lovely onion like this. It has a very mild flavor, and you can eat the entire plant, stem and all. So we're gonna definitely use the stem here too. I'm just gonna cut away the dried up pieces. Onion, of course, it's such a strong flavor. There's a lot of people out there who do not like it at all, who do not want any onion. But if you're willing to give it a try, try some of this fresh new onion instead of those cured onions that you get at the regular grocery stores, and you may be surprised how much milder these onions actually are. So we're gonna put in maybe about a half a cup of the yogurt in here. I'll add just a little bit of neutral oil just because my yogurt is fat-free completely. And then some lemon. I'm going to use both the zest and the juice. And we'll add 2 teaspoons of mustard. I'm using sweet hot Mr. Mustard, but most kinds of mustards will do. We'll juice in half a lemon. I should have used a strainer. I got a couple pits in there. That's right. Fish them out. There's 1, 2. I think that's it. And we'll add a whole bunch of chopped dill. You could use dried dill if you cannot find fresh dill, but I think dill is probably pretty readily available. Dill is such a classic Finnish summertime flavor. The only annoying thing is how your hands get when you... And also we'll add some curly parsley. Curly parsley is of course a Finnish favorite as opposed to the flat leaf parsley. I'm not sure why. Oh yeah, actually the potatoes are done. I'm going to turn off the heat and strain them. New potatoes cook so quickly. Let them cool down a little bit because otherwise it might curdle your sauce. We'll also add some pink peppercorns. Pink peppercorns, they look like this. They're actually not related to the standard black peppercorn or green or white peppercorn. They are completely different plant altogether. I like to just take them and even crush them with my fingers. They're so tender. Kind of like citrusy kind of a flavor to it, which we have a lot going on. And we'll add a few capers too. And now we'll add some of these chopped onions. And the onion stem. Now let's taste seasoning. I did not add any salt yet, but let's see how it is without it. Because the mustard already has salt, the capers have salt in them. Maybe I'll add just a tiny pinch, not a whole lot. Also, I think I will add just a tiny pinch of sugar as well. There we go. Okay. Put the potatoes in the bowl over here. And let's add our dressing. And let's mix it all up. As with many salads, especially potato salads, this should go in the fridge and sit for several hours before serving. But before I do that, I'm just going to give it a quick taste. Because many times you may find out that once you mix it with potatoes, it actually could use a little salt. There we go. Okay, now I'm going to cover this, put this in the fridge to sit for several hours. Our potato salad has now been in the fridge for several hours. You could even leave it overnight or so. But remember to keep it in the fridge though. Do not leave it on the counter. And of course, do not be afraid of putting it in the fridge while it's still warm, because that's what fridges do. They make things cold, keep things cold. All right, let's serve ourselves some. Let's go ahead and give it a taste. Yeah, I don't think I missed the mayo at all. The yogurt works almost just as good. This would be a great side salad for many dishes. If you want to make it a little heartier, you could definitely add some type of protein in here. Maybe some bacon. I didn't add any because I just wanted it to be plain. But you could definitely add some bacon or maybe some fish. Maybe some smoked fish would work great here. Smoked white fish specifically would really go well with this salad. Maybe you could have used a little bit more salt, but that's a personal preference. I think that the potatoes, a lot of times, they take quite a lot of salt. I'm gonna keep eating my salad. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time on Finish Your Plate.